अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अखिलभुवनजन्मस्थेमभङ्गादिलीले विनतविविधभूतव्रातरक्षैकदीक्षे श्रुतिशिरसि विदीप्ते ब्रह्मणे श्रीनिवासे भवतु मम परस्मिन् शेमुषी भक्तिरूपा श्रीमाधवाङ्घ्रिजलजद्वय नित्यसेवा प्रेमाविलासय पराङ्कुशपादभक्तं कामादिदोषहरमात्मपदाश्रितानां रामानुजं रामानुजं यतिपतिं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना। ॐ अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः। जय हो रामानुजा, जय जय रामानुजा। நம்மாழ்வார் திவ்ய திருவடிகளே சரணம். Jai Sivanarayana. Welcome you all to the afternoon Goshti of Sri Pravachana Goshti Srinivasa Ramanuja Antarjatiya Pravachana Goshti, coming to you from Chicago in the afternoon time. And today is right from the Sri Sarvari Nama Samvatsara Subha Ugadi Periya Perumal Tirunakshatram onwards we started this particular Goshti. Today is the 62nd day. That means Periya Perumal, that is Srirangam Ranganatha. The Srirangam Ranganatha's birthday we celebrated on 25th of March. Now 25th of April gone. Now today is the 25th of May. We have come to the almost 62 days. If you count in that way, it is 62 days, 62nd day today. That means 60 days gone and yesterday. And this month is Nammalvar's month. Earlier it was Sri Ramanavami, and then comes to the Ramanuja Tirunakshatra Mahotsavam. Now coming to the Nammalvar Tirunakshatra Mahotsavam this month, Jyeshta Masam, Chaitra Masam, Vaisakha Masam, on the Jyeshta Masam. the speciality is, it is like a non-stop flow, continuous flow of this is all with the Perumal's anugraham only. Otherwise, we could not have done that like this. It is of the Sri Sarvari Nama Samvatsara. This is the speciality of this year, Sri Sarvari. Like introspection, we always do. And also like that, this Sri Sarvari comes close to Sri Krishna. We have to come close to Sri Krishna, and today the Krishna Tatpara Tatparata Sri Nammalvar Divya Pada Aravindayoho Divya Parankusa Divya Trividigale Sarinam Nammalvar Divya Trividigale Sarinam. And today is in this Jyeshta Masam, this Ardra, last month Ardra was Bhagavad Ramanuja's Tirunakshatra Mahotsavam, and now 1 month is almost 27 days, every 27 turn, that is total stars are 27 stars. So 27 days, again we got Ardra, today is Ardra, that is Bhagavad Ramanuja's Janma Tirunakshatra, Masa Tirunakshatra Mahotsavam. Last month was his birthday, and there is already 1 month baby now. Bhagavad Ramanujacharya is 1004th year after he born. And so now coming to the first, when we always start with the program goes like this. We do about Ramanuja and his connection with Nammalvar, Alvars in the other way. And then we are learning in this afternoon session Mukundamala. Mukundamala is the one of Kulasekhar Alvar's work, and that is the one which gives us the devotion. That Bhaktya tu ananyaya saktya. That's how. Let everyone be devoted. And today in US, we are all celebrating the Memorial Day. We have to pay our respects to all those who built this station, and that is we are all who dedicated for this their lives. For that we always remember and pay our homage and respect to all of them. That is the Memorial Day today being the. So now let us start with the Bhagavad Ramanuja's thing, and also we do Nammalvar's. And after evening session, in the evening we are all doing this during this Jyeshta Masam, 108 Tiruvayumozhi important pasurams that we call. That 108 pasurams we are learning, those things we always do that way in the evening. So now, Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha Punyam Bhoja Vikasaya Papadvanta Ja Sriman Avirabhut Bhumau Ramanuja Divakaraha Om Ramanujeti Rachet Ramanujeti Sha Chatura Chaturakshari Kamavastam Prapadyante Jantavo Hantamadrishaha Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Alva Embirmana Divya Trividigale Saranam Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. So we have come to the here Bhagavad Ramanujacharya, and yesterday we have talked about the Yamunacharya and Bhagavad Ramanujacharya's title. And Yamunacharya was residing in the Srirangam, was getting old. And so he wanted a competent acharya to take on his acharya pitham. That is a very important one. Here he was looking for the acharya pitham, the one who can lead the torch. He had seen Ramanuja earlier in Kanchipuram. However, Acharya, Yamunacharya, well understood the noble and scholastic attributes of Bhagavad Ramanujacharya, Ramanuja were fully aware of the deep knowledge of the scriptures that Yamunacharya possessed and his spiritual works. In addition, Bhagavad Ramanujacharya had high admiration for Yamunacharya. That is why we call him as Paramacharya of Ramanujacharya is Yamunacharya. For his love towards Ranganatha and the services he rendered by him for Sriman Narayana. As the end was nearing for Yamuna, and that means almost getting old, and he was about to reach Acharya Tiruvadi, so it's coming close to those days. Yamunacharya prayed to Ranganatha, "Oh Ranganatha, please grant me the favor. Sriman Narayana, I am praying to your feet. Grant me that Ramanuja, who shall become the bearer of the torch of our faith." The torch bearer, we call that word, of our faith. He called his chief disciple Mahapurna, Sri Mahapurna, also known as Periya Nambi. Mahapurna is in Sanskrit, Mahapurna, and in Tamil we call him Periya Nambi. Nambi means Purna. So he said to him, I am almost coming close to my Acharya Tiruvadi to reach. So go forth at once to Kanchipuram and bring Ramanuja to me, he said. As per the directive of his teacher, Mahapurna immediately travelled to Kanchipuram. He delivered the message of the desire of Yamunacharya and personally extended the invitation to Ramanuja to come to Srirangam at once. Bhagavad Ramanujacharya accepted the invitation and replied, I must visit this great soul. Let us now start immediately, he said. So obedience to the order of our Guru is very important. That is Bhagavad Ramanujacharya said, and immediately Ramanujacharya sought the blessings of Sri Varadaraja, the Kanchi Varadaraja Perumal. Thus Mahapurna and Ramanuja started their journey to Srirangam. After a long, tiring journey by foot, walking, Mahapurna and Ramanuja reached Srirangam and passed through a huge crowd of people. They entered the premises where Yamuna was rested and stood by his side. The great Acharya Yamunacharya had left his mortal remains and had reached the divine feet of Sriman Narayana. Mahapurna fell at his feet, bathing him with tears, while Ramanuja was stunned and stood still, looking at the great departed Vaishnava soul. Although the life air had passed from the body, the life air, that what we call, passed from the body, the glow and the tejas on Yamunacharya's face was still serene and untouched by the shadow of death. This is in many great souls have this exactly the same, because even though the life air, we call that life air in the sense pranavayu, even though it has gone, but his face was still serene and untouched by the shadow of death. Bhagavad Ramanujacharya was feeling sad that he should have arrived sooner and conversed with the great Acharya and received his blessings in person. But Ramanujacharya stood there transfixed, just gazing as if in a trance at the face of the great Acharya. As he was seriously looking at the Acharyas up and down, he noticed, to his surprise, that 3 of the 5 fingers on the right hand remained closed. Stunned Ramanuja, by this strange sight, started to wonder what could be on the mind of the Acharya. What was he counting in his fingers? Because when you count only, you always fold the fingers, na? So what was he counting in his fingers? He turned around to the people that were gathered in the assemblage and asked them if they had observed these fingers. The disciples were surprised to see the fingers folding position. Because Ramanuja's brilliant spiritual thoughts suddenly started provoking that Acharya may have had some wish in his mind that was unfulfilled. Sacred words from the Supreme Divine started to flow through the tongue of Ramanujacharya. Bhagavad Ramanujacharya declared loudly the following three proclamations one by one. I will free all devotees from the cycle of birth and death and show them a path to attain moksha, that is salvation, by spreading the glories of Sriman Narayana through bhakti, that is devotion, and prapatti, total surrender to Sriman Narayana, and popularize the hymns of Alvars. That was the first book proclamation. And the second one he said, Bhagavad Ramanuja said, I will write a commentary on Brahma Sutra which would bring out the deeper meanings of Vishishtadvaita and establish its authenticity. This was the second proclamation. Now coming to the third one, I will show our debt of gratitude to Vedavyasa and Parasara Maharshi, Vedavyasa Maharshi and Parasara Maharshi, the creator of Vishnu Purana and the creator of all the 18 Puranas, that is Vedavyasa, then Mahabharata and many more, by cherishing their names. That was the Bhagavad Ramanujacharya 3 proclamation. The three folded fingers of Yamunacharya became straight, signaling the acceptance of Ramanuja's proclamation. The assembly just addressed Ramanuja in one unified voice. Sir, the sage's grace is fully with you. The sage's grace is fully with you. The spiritual power and glory of his spirit will grace you. You are the ideal successor to him to propagate our faith. We request you to be our leader. This was the assembly, all of them in one voice. They said to Bhagavad Ramanuja. Ramanuja was speechless, immersed in grief, and paid his last respects to Yamunacharya, the great soul, and departed to Kanchipuram. Here Bhagavad Ramanujacharya's service to Lord Varadaraja he started doing. Ramanuja resumed his daily activities, studying the scriptures and doing the daily services, that is we call that one Kainkaryam, to Varadaraja in Kanchipuram. He was still distressed and unhappy that he was unable to speak to Acharya Yamunacharya. He sat down with his confidant and mentor Kanchipurna and narrated the entire incident of Yamuna's departure from the world that they witnessed in Srirangam. The Kanchipurna was also a devoted disciple of Yamunacharya, and he understood the entire situation and provided the most needed support, spiritual support and mental support, all the things for Bhagavad Ramanujacharya to uplift his spirits. Kanchipurna said, let us submit to Sriman Narayana's will. That's Anta Bhagavad Sankalpam. He said, Anta Bhagavad Sankalpam, let us submit to Sriman Narayana's will. So Sriman Narayana will help us to make up for the loss of our Acharya Sri Yamunacharya by appointing you to take the Pitham, his seat, and lead our faith. Ramanuja was encouraged by those kind words from Kanchipurna. He continued to study if any time when somebody has, we always call that low tide and high tide. If then the mind is in low tide, or you can say when the mind is in depression or even feeling bad about the things, then it is our duty to encourage them. That is what the Bhagavad Ramanujacharya's life teaches us. When Kanchipurna encouraged him by telling that, you take the Pitham, his seat, the Yamunacharya's place, and lead our faith. but Ramanuja was encouraged by those kind words from Kanchipurna. He continued to study the scriptures with Kanchipurna. And Bhagavad Ramanujacharya knew that Kanchipurna was conversing with Sri Varadaraja. Kanchipurna was talking, almost dialogue, I can say, conversation, all the time going on with Sri Varadaraja. That is the Archa Murti in Kanchipuram, in the Varadaraja temple, Hastigiri. Swasti Hastigiri Masta Sekharaha Santanotu Mai Santatam Harihi Nissamabhyadikam Abhyadattayam Devamaupanishadi Saraswati Sri Nidhim Nidhimaparamarthinam Ardhitartha Dikshitam Sarvabhutasurdam Dayanidhim Devarajamathirajamasaye. These are the first two slokas in Varadarajastavam. All our Sri Pravachan Gosha devotees know it by heart and they love it because we did that Varadarajastavam, entire Varadarajastavam in that one by Sriman Sri Varangal Swami, by our Sri Dr. N.C.H. Raghunatharacharya Swami, did the commentary on this Varadarajastavam. With that, we could, with the help of those books, we could say, and when Varadaraja came out, and after once in 40 years, once in Mandala Kalam, we call 40 days or 40 years, it is the Mandalam, 40. So that when he came out to give the darshanam, at that time, we really did this Varadarajastavam. So this Varadaraja, he understood that Kanchipurna, conversing with Varadaraja in temple in Kanchipuram. So Bhagavad Ramanujacharya requested Kanchipurna to get clarifications from Varadaraja, so as to clear his mind with answers for 6 questions. What are these? We call them as Varta Shatkamu. Varta Shat means 6. Shatkam. Like Varta Shatkam is the word. So for the 6th point that he had on his in his mind, Kanchipurna agreed for Ramanuja's request and came back with the answers after conversing with Lord Varadaraja. The answers he is giving here, Ahameva Param Brahma. That was the word. These are have you got faith in it? Do you have? Because these are the words spoken by the Archa Rupam. Does Archa Murti speak? Yes. This is the second example. First example is Srirangam. Srirangam, Ranganatha and Ranganayaki, Astute, they spoke to Bhagavad Ramanujacharya. And this is the second one, conversation between Varadaraja and Kanchipurna. Kanchipurna asked questions and Varadaraja replied. So Archa Rupam, when you are immersed in love and devotion, the Perumal comes forward and speak to you. He loves to speak to you. He comes only to talk to you. But you don't want to. So that's why he remains silent. If you want to talk to him, he comes out and speak to you. That is what Goda Devi, in what she said. He asked, I marry only Ranganatha. Nobody else, none but. So immediately Ranganatha loved that particular one, and whatever the garland which she wore and Mukta Malyada, that fragrance, that smell, he loved it because he loved devotees who love him. So that Goda Devi is Mukta Malyada, the one who is, she wore that one, and what for she wore it? She was telling, am I really fit to be the bridegroom of Varadaraja Sriman Ranganatha? That was her wish to marry him. So am I really a eligible person? If so, and also another way, how does this mala, this garland, looks on the when I adore him? How does it look? So she was personifying herself as if she is in the Ranganatha's heart. And also Ranganatha loves her so much, and she loves Ranganatha. These are the things that is For this the devotee, and this is the same thing happened with Varadaraja and Kanchipurna. So Varadaraja was talking to him and gave the answers to all the 6 questions about Bhagavad Ramanujacharya asked him. The first answer is Ahameva Param Brahma. I am the supreme divine Brahman and the cause for the entire universe. And second answer, Darshanam Bheda Evacha. There exists separation between Jivatma, soul, and Paramatma, the supreme divine. These are when you understand the answers, the questions you can easily understand. These are the 6 questions, and these are the answers of those 6 questions which were in the mind of Bhagavad Ramanujacharya. The third one, Mokshopayaha Prapattihi Syat. That means Prapatti, surrendering to the lotus feet of Sriman Narayana through bhakti, devotion, and through Prapatti is a realistic way to attain moksha. Moksha means liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Now the fourth one, there is the fourth answer to them. Antima Smriti Varjanam. Thinking of me at the time of last breath, or you can say at the time of death, is not an absolute must. Worthy devotees will be liberated even if by chance they fail to remember me at that time of death. I will take care of them, because that is the speciality of those who prapannas, those who do prapatti. Now coming to the fifth answer, Deha avasane muktihi syat. As soon as my devotees shed their bodies, that is after death, they will release the bondage and will be on the path to attain supreme. They will never come back again into this world. They remain in the path and attain the supreme. Now the question, the answer is Mahapurnam Samasraya. Take refuge in Sri Mahapurna to be your Acharya, the teacher, who is filled with noble qualities and overflowing spiritual knowledge. So Kanchipurna communicated all these 6 answers right from Varadaraja and gave to and he spoke to Ramanuja the holy message from Lord Varadaraja. Bhagavad Ramanuja was filled with joy when he heard the message that Bhagavan spoke, and Bhagavan heard his questions and gave the answers. What else he needs? So what a great soul Kanchipurna was. Can we imagine the feelings of blissful Ramanuja? As we will see, these confirmative statements from Lord Varadaraja laid a clear path for Bhagavad Ramanujacharya to establish the philosophy of Vishishtadvaita. Bhagavad Ramanujacharya immediately decided to go to Srirangam to reach Mahapurna and offer his respects to his holy feet. He wanted to submit to Mahapurna and seek his blessings to be his guru, because it was said by Varadaraja Swami. He directed Bhagavad Ramanujacharya to take Mahapurna as his guru. So in the meantime, with the departure of Yamunacharya, the spiritual leaders, the disciples of Srirangam, felt a great void in their hearts. They deliberated and finally approached Mahapurna and prayed to him to nominate a successor to Yamunacharya to fill the void left by the great Acharya Yamunacharya. Mahapurna looked at all of them and said, "Did Sri Yamunacharya himself, while he was in his last breath, point out to us, Ramanuja is his successor? As per the wishes of our Acharya, then Ramanuja is his successor, that was Mahapurna, immediately made preparations to start the travel to Kanchipurnam to bring Ramanujacharya to Srirangam. Accompanied by his wife, they reached Madurantakam, a small city near Kanchipuram. Bhagavad Ramanujacharya at the same time started his journey to Srirangam to seek his Acharya and made a stop at Madurantakam. Both were surprised and thrilled with joy to see each other at the Sri Rama temple in Madurantakam. Ramanujacharya gave Shashtanga Danda Pranamams and touched the feet of Mahapurna and prayed to him, "Take me as your disciple and teach me all that is good for my soul." That is Ramanujacharya's utmost faith and utmost respect for his teacher. So Sri Varadaraja has asked me to take you as my guru. So Mahapurna was touched with the devotion of Ramanuja. At once all arrangements were made for the initiation of Ramanuja underneath the Vakula tree on the banks of the river. Here, Mahapurna performed all the religious rites and Sri Vaishnava Siddhanta and also Pancha Samskarams and initiated Bhagavad Ramanuja to advance to the next plateau of spirituality. That is like what we call, after the Samasrin, this is next plateau of spirituality, that is Jnana Janma. After the initiation was complete, Bhagavad Ramanuja invited Mahapurna and his wife to his house and all of them travelled together to Kanchipuram. So here, this divine Sri Rama temple at Madurantakam bears deep religious significance even today for two reasons. This is the holy place where Ramanuja's initiation took place, and the presiding deity Sri Rama has earned a special title and bears the name Erikanta Ramar. That means the holy Sri Rama that saved the river. So, Erikanta Ramar. So the temple stands on the shores of the river. There is an interesting story behind how the presiding deity Sri Rama earned this Erikanta Ramar special title. In the year 1798, there was a huge storm with a torrential downpour that filled a lake, I can say the river, to the brim. It appeared the waters would break the bound. The waters would break the bund, we call, and flood the village. At that time, no other, the God's grace was being bestowed. The people are there. They prayed to his knees to the visualized God Sri Rama and Sri Lakshmana. The rain stopped in due course and the lake was saved from the danger of overflowing and causing damages. From that day, the presiding deity Sri Rama is thus in this holy place bears the name Erikanta Ramar. That means the one who saved all of us, from the, great diligence. See, nowadays we always have the sudden natural phenomena, natural calamities happen. But it is all the prayers of the Almighty, you can say that. And here Sri Rama is the one who got the presiding deity is Sri Rama, so he got that holy place name bears the Erikanta Rama. Now coming to the today being the Ardha Nakshatram, so we remembered all these. Now come to the every day afternoon session we are looking at the Mukundamala. Yesterday we started with the first sloka and now today we are doing the second one. The second sloka in Mukundamala, let all of us enjoy this. The moment Kulasekhar Alvar called the names of Krishna, immediately Krishna just appeared before him. This is very interesting thing. That is the Mukundamala. That's why our elders all the time feel that Mukundamala is the one to get the Sakshatkaram of Krishna Sakshatkaram. Mukundamala, whoever read with the devotion, with all faith, those who have it, Krishna immediately comes and appears before them. Sri Vallabheti Varadeti Dayapareti Bhakta Priyeti Bhavalunthana Kovideti Natheti Nagasayaneti Dagannivaseti Alapanam Pratipadam Kurume Mukunda. These are the way how Kulasekara Alvar and uttered the name of Lord. That's all. You also, we have to utter the name of Lord with love, with love. Then immediately he appeared before him. Then Kulasekara Alvar, all of a sudden, notice that Krishna is in front of him. What to do? Immediately he prayed that Jayatu Jayatu Devo Devaki Nandanoyam Jayatu Jayatu Krishna Vrishnivam Chapradipaha Jayatu Jayatu Meghasya Malakko Malango Jayatu Jayatu Prithvi Bharanaso Mukundaha. Those who are watching Facebook or even Twitter or even YouTube, look into the Krishna in the Vatapatra Sai, and also in the Krishna, in the cute Krishna, in the so very minute heart, very minute form. You can look into that Krishna. That is the Krishna's love for us. And if those who have feeling and love for Krishna, they can look into that. In our heart, Krishna always resides and make us to do everything that one has to understand, one has to realize that Krishna is in us. So here what he said, Jayatu, Jayatu, that means, Jayam means glory. May glory ever abide with thee, Lord Krishna, the self-effulgent, frolicsome divinity, Devaki Nandana, you, the beloved son of Devaki. Jayatu Jayatu Krishna Vrishnivam Pradeepaha. May victory ever attend to thee, O Lord Krishna, the splendorous scion who irradiated Vrishni lineage. Jayatu Jayatu Meghasya Malakromalangu. May bliss ever abound about thee, O Lord Krishna, the beautiful, fascinating cloud-like frame, the sapphire glow, the resplendent features for entrancing beauty. Jayatu Jayatu Prithvi Bharanaso Mukundaha. May the halo of exquisite martial prowess ever surround thee, O Lord Krishna, the hero with miraculous exploits, the liquidating villains of Hordes, and redeeming the earth of an insufferable burden. All hail unto thee, Saviour, O Lord Mukunda. O Lord Mukunda. Bharanaso Mukundaha. Then Mukundaha. What is the title of this particular poem? 40 slokams of poem? Mukunda Mala. So here Mukunda, the Lord is the Lord who grants liberation. Mukuhu Dadati is Mukundaha. The one who grants liberation from samsara, from the unbroken chain of recurring transmigrations. The like life and death. It continues. The chain is so it is the only Mukunda, that is Mukunda is the Lord who grants liberation from this samsara. And who could be the Lord? Who could be that Lord? He is the supreme deity presiding over Vaikuntha and the land of, that is the Paramapadam, the land of the blessed. It is the Mukunda, the changeless one, with no birth and no death, and who had chosen to descend onto earth as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. In compliance with a prior commitment to him in the previous birth, Krishna, you can say Mukunda, how magnanimously gracious he is to the world and its creatures. The everlasting effulgence undergoes the travails of birth as a human being. See, this is the Krishna's birth is really whoever remember that Krishna, when we always celebrate Krishna Janmashtami, Gokulashtami, all these things, those who have got the love for Krishna, if they remember how Krishna is born, what are the situation, conditions, everything. If you look into how many travails, how many difficulties he had to face, only for the sake of ours. Only to save us, he was under so many troubles. He has to face many more, that we know. So the travails of birth, he undergoes the travails, means the difficulties of birth as a human being. Deva becomes Krishna, Devaki's son. Devaki Nandano Yam Nandana, Devaki Nandana, that's one. And thus makes himself easily accessible to all and everyone. So may this glorious attribute of amiable familiarity ever abide in all its Catholicity. That's what they say. Now coming to the, by taking birth in the royal Vrishni lineage, Jayatu Krishna Vrishni Pradeepaha. The Vrishni is a family name, that is Vrishni Vamsa lineage. Krishna has imparted splendor to it. The gloom of ignorance which has surrounded it has been expelled. Like Vrishni Vamsa Pradeepaha. The Pradeepa is the word, the lamp. Here. The lamp actually, as long as there is ghee or oil or something, it should be there. Once it is done, the lamp extinguish. We know that. But Krishna is the lamp, it never get extinguished. So here, Krishna Vrishni Vamsa Pradeepaha. The Vrishni Vamsa Pradeepa gets exhausted, but the light that Krishna radiates is bright and steady and knows no change. It adheres forever for the family from which he was sprung, that is Vrishni Vamsa. Vrishni Vamsa Pradeepaha. It expels darkness of ignorance and brightens the path of righteousness and sustains, exhilarating the joy among the devotees and spiritual bhaktas, we can say, Bhagavatas. May this light thrive victorious ever and anon. And this eternal effulgence has assumed a visible form of Krishna. That's Jayatu Jayatu Meghasya Malakko Malango. Here, the magnanimity, here Krishna is the one, the magnetic personality. We call them with a body like a massive dark cloud brimming. That's why we always say, why the dark cloud? Why not the white cloud? White clouds won't give rain. Sharatkala Meghams never give rain. Only we enjoy the clouds to watch. But only the Nela Meghasyama, dark clouds only give rain. That means our wishes also, the dark cloud, Krishna only fulfill. That's why we always call him Meghasyamalam. Jayatu Jayatu Meghasyamala Komalanga. Komalanga, very tender body he has. The cloud drenches the world with its refreshing showers, rejuvenates parched land, reinvigorates living creatures, and generates happiness. That is, this it does out of its fullness and eagerness to disburden its contents and feel free. It is thus a great benefactor, but it turns pale as though it regrets that it has done nothing. Too little to count as favor for the world. In a similar way, Krishna, what a great simile is given Hindi by Kulasekara Alvar. In the similar way, Krishna, out of his abundant, exhaustible store of kindness and love for the created world, spontaneously showers favors on all, whether solicited or whether asked or unasked, whether fit or undeserving, to everyone he showers his blessings. He shares the cloud's nature of magnanimity and also its sparkling tint of dense darkness, that is Syamala. Syamala Komalango Meghasyamalam Syamalam. It is this sapphire glow that impresses one with the Lord's auspicious attributes and magnanimity, profoundly loving concern, considerateness, and generosity. But people fail to cognize how fascinatingly tender and delicate his features are, and how actively he puts them under the strain for their good. May his charming form and features remain ever strong and fresh, without suffering any diminution in their brilliance. That's what he did. Jayatu. May he protect and perpetuate bliss all around. That is, Jayatu Prithvi Bharanaso Mukundaha. Kulasekara Alvar has so far dealt with how Krishna has discharged his primary obligation as the supreme incarnation, sustaining the virtuous and offering protection to them. Sadhu Paritranam. Now he touches upon the other aspect of extirpation, that is the evil forces to destroy. Harassing the good with the reckless impetuosity. Here, what we call in Bhagavad Gita also, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata apyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam. So far, Krishna Kulasekara Alvar described about paritranaya sadhunam. Then what is the second part? Vinashaya dushkrutam. The dushkruti. Now, so with the show of this marvelous martial prowess, Krishna has demolished the wicked demons' hordes and thus brought about the redemption for the earth. Prithvi Bharanaso Mukundaha. The insufferable burden, that the one which he did. The Krishna has effected a welcome reformation in spiritual devotees, by expunging from their minds the dangerous elements of egoism. What that he is eliminating, he is removing all our ahankaram and possessiveness, mamakaram. These two all stand as an obstacles to reach the abode of Paramatma. So, as long as our ahankaram and mamakaram remain in our mind, we cannot achieve anything. So that's Krishna. When you utter the name Krishna, Prithvi Bharanaso Mukundaha. The Jivatmas on this Leela Vibhuti always possess this ahankaram and mamakaram. So that is Krishna to come down to us, and he is the one in our mind. The dangerous elements of egoism, that is ahankara, and possessiveness, mamakaram. The moment we by remembering the name of Krishna, we are really so fortunate that this ahankaram and mamakaram, by our own effort, we cannot do anything for this. Only Krishna's blessings only make us this too, and all the obstacles, I can say the obstructions are taken care. And people have come to realize under Krishna's influence that all of them belong to him. And so they are all akin to one another, and we are all, thus we always, paraspara, virodhatvam is not there. There is no enmity at all. So we are all feel a friendly gesture when Krishna's blessings are with us, and brought closer to his expansive ambit, the fraternal affinity. So thus does Krishna effect liberation to the believers, those who have the faith in him, and from the shackles of samsara, and redemption to the earth from the burden of demonic hordes. That was the Kulasekara Alvar. Here the third one concludes. Now may the halo of victorious hero ever surround thee. All hail unto the Savior of, O Lord Mukunda. Now till now, Kulasekara Alvar, first he uttered the names of, you can say, he called Kulasekara Alvar, called names of Krishna, immediately he appeared. And so when Krishna appeared before him, he was offering the Mangala Sastanam, that is Jayatu Jayatu, the greatness of the. Once he came close to Kulasekara Alvar, the affinity, the closeness he is feeling, then he was making, this is my request. Are you ready to hear? That he was asking Krishna, are you ready to fulfill my, these are the one which is my request. What is his request? Mukunda Murdhna Pranipatya. This is the third sloka. Mukunda Murdhna Pranipatya Yache Bhavantamekantamiam Tamardham Avismruti Tvaccharanaravinде Bhave Bhave Me Astu Bhavat Prasadat. This is the greatness of Kulasekara Alvar. If we are here, if Krishna comes in front of us, what we do? We immediately, Krishna, we need this, we need that, we need a big house, we need a big car, we need something, we need children's health, children's prosperity, all these things. We always ask about the worldly things. But what Kulasekara Alvar, when Krishna came close to him and Krishna came ready to bless him, what he yache means he asked. What he asked? Bhavantamekantamiyantamardham avismruti tvaccharanaravinде bhave bhave me astu bhavat prasadat. O Lord Mukunda, with bowed head and humble salutation, I seek in all earnestness the grant of a simple favor. What is the simple favor? Only one and no other desires in me. I pray to thou vouchsafe unto me that under thy grace my mind gets reverted to thy hallowed lotus only. Through all my destined lives without break, let no forgetfulness interrupt this devotional exercise. No forgetfulness, not a single time we should not forget. We should not forget to pray. That was the Kulasekara Alvar's request. Kulasekara Alvar has invoked in the initial hymn. Lord Mukunda came in front of him, and Lord Mukunda blessed him with a vision of his presence. Then he hailed him. He Jayatu Jayatu. In the next hymn, as victor with a perennial halo of effulgence around him, and now he attunes himself a prayer that to grant of a favor, only one, and that is a simple one. What he prays? He appeals to the Lord in all earnestness, with bow down to his, because of this, then Shastra, Mukunda Murdhna Pranipatya Che, he says, with my, I bent in humility, I with head bent in humility and hands joined in reverent salutations, pranipatya, pranamam, and to arm him with strength and zeal to settle his mind steadily and without interruption on the Lord's blessed lotus feet, not merely in his present life, but through the entire stretch of lives lying in wait for him in future. If there is any more births, in all the births, it should be, this is the a boon you grant me. Forgetfulness is a formidable foe, ever in the alert to foil devotional enterprise, and so he appeals to Lord Mukunda to save him from the nefarious devices. That is, we should never forget to worship Lord Mukunda. We should always to remember Lord's name and to always to do his service. That was the idea. So in this particular sloka, the Kulasekhara, the saintly king, makes a total surrender. Pranipatya murdhana, that is the Saranagati. Immediately, the moment he could see Lord in front of him, the Kulasekhara teaches us how you have to behave. Immediately, do the Sastananda Pranam and do Prapatti. That is, to surrender yourself immediately. So he did the total surrender to the Lord, and he asked, grant of the highest end that a person should pursue in his life, Parama Purushartham, and that is moksha or liberation, the chains of recurring births and surrender. So Saranagati means surrender. What is Saranagati means? Saranagati means surrender to Lord as the only refuge and to none else is the central means. Here he says, for what? Attaining salvation. The other ends of dharma, righteousness, artha, that is affluence, and kama, desire, may promote material happiness and may serve to purify when properly employed. That is, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, when you say, the dharma, artha, kamas always to lead to moksha only. These are the, and properly employ the devotee and prepare the ground for their eligibility for consideration for attaining the final end, that is salvation or moksha. But they fail to secure moksha. It is only total surrender to the Lord and no other means that qualifies the devotee for God's grace. This is Kulasekhara, the bhakti. That is the only the devotee get the God's grace, which secures liberation for them. And what is this paramount state known as moksha? Could it be released from the future births, the janma rahityam? Could it be expurgation of the nations, that is avidya nivritti? Could it be admission into the land of the blessed Bhagavat Salokyam or Sarupyam or Sayudyam or this thing? So, the frame and features of the resembling the Lords, that is Bhagavat Sarupyam, or could it be the stale merging into him? That is, here, Lord's personality, Salokya, Sarupya, Samipyam, he is not asking here. That the final one is the one, Bhagavat Sayudyam. Devotees entertain one or other in the above concepts as their objectives, attaining which they find salvation. But the highest and paramount, the Paramapurushartham for Kulasekhara Alvar, is not redemption from the chains of the recurring births, nor admission into the abode of his Lord. It matters little in what world he is placed. With that form he is invested, and all he wants is that whatever, wherever, what type of the life he has to pursue, his mind is riveted to the Lord's blessed feet only, without suffering even a moment's break. without even a moment's break, without any break. It should be continuous. So, inseparable adherence to the Lord's feet is what the wishes his minds to possess. That what you call this one? Ekagrata. The single-minded chanting of the Lord's sanctifying names is what he expects his tongue to be engaged upon, and that blessed state is what constitutes salvation for him. These are a beautiful feeling just by namasmaranat anyopayam nahi pasyamo bhavatarine. Namasmaranat anyopayam. There is no other way. The Kulasekara Alvar says, the Lord's sanctifying names is what he expects his tongue to be engaged upon, and that blessed state is what constitutes salvation or moksha for him. Keeping the mind concentrated on the Mukunda's lotus feet without diversion is what constitutes devotion, and it is that bhakti that makes life worthwhile, and its absence is death. So, a living death, you can say other way. It is not a means to attain something else. It is not an end in itself. And the Kulasekara Alvar knows that he cannot, by his own effort, attain this blissful condition. So the Lord himself has to grant it to him out of his abounding grace. And Kulasekara Alvar does not seek multiple favors from the Lord. He makes a fervent request for the grant of this only wish, limited to what he deeply cherishes as the communication. And here the spiritual quest, namely a condition of the mind which is firmly settled on the Lord's feet, which suffers no interruption in glorifying Mukunda's name. That is Lord Krishna's name. So Kulasekara Alvar deeply yearns for such a state as it amounts to moksha for him. In the fourth sloka, he says, Naham vande tava charanayoho dvandva madvandva heto kumbhipakam kurumapi hare narakam napanetum ramya rama mrudutanulata nandane napirantum bhave bhave hrudaya bhavane bhavayeyam bhavantam. O Lord Krishna, here I present my humble submission. I do not fall, what for I am doing the Sashtanga Danda Pranamams to you at thy blessed feet, to not to earn any freedom from dualities like pleasures and pain, which really trouble our life. I do not make any salutations to thee to obtain an escape from the acute agonies resulting from the severest punishments of hell. I do not offer obeisances to thee to earn eligibility for the indulgence in dalliance with delicate damsels of exquisite beauty in the pleasant woods in paradise. I surrender to thee in all humility and reverence to seek thy gracious favor, to enable me to retain thee in my heart's abode, to lend glow to every thought of mine. Bhave bhave hrudaya bhavane bhavayeyam bhavantam. Kulasekara Alvar makes clear that he is not doing the Sashtanga Danda Pranamams at the Lord's feet to escape from duality like pleasure and pain. We all do like that. We always pray to God for some the pleasures and pains, or even the like Niramayaha. Amayam means like suffering from some diseases. And now Corona is there. We always pray, oh, that should not touch us. we should not be suffered out of these sort of difficulties outside. So the Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Tapatraya Nivaranardham, we always do this sankalpam. And these are, but Kulasekhara Alvar did not do these things. He was above the level. We are all still a level below. Kulasekhara Alvar says, no, I'm not for my pleasure or pain, likes or dislikes, love and hatred, and such are the dualities. So the contradictory impulses and passions, no. These will pester people throughout their lives. They adhere to martial experiment. This is because these are all the material existence. Kulasekhara Alvar is one level above this material existence. So, and cannot be got rid of. So, but there are great devotees like Prahalada who have been able, while leading normal lives, to attain an equable state which is unaffected by these contradictory emotions, which are associated with their senses and other constituents of their bodies. For his unwavering devotion to Lord Vishnu, Prahalada had subjected to severe punishments by his father, Hiranyakasipu, but he came through them unscathed. Even the serpents' venom failed to harm him, elephants' trample could not crush him, and he owed his safety to the strength generated by his mind's total absorption of contemplation on the Lord as his sole refuge and protector. That strong faith itself is those who have got faith. That faith itself protects. The same thing with Prahalada. That he is the one, the Srimanarayana is the protector. He had that faith. It is such an exalted state that Kulasekhara Alvar wishes to attain as his Parama Purushartha, the loftiest end in life. So he is prepared to take the consequences of his actions, good and bad, committed during his countless earlier lives. But he will not make his salutations to the Lord, requesting him to reward his merit with a pleasant sojourn, the paradise, like indulging in the dalliances with the charming damsels and the delicate features of exquisite beauty. No. But we always, Jyotishtomam Swargapalam Dadatu, that some of us, we do that Jyotishthoma yaga, yajna yagas and sacrifices, to get the Swargaphalam. That means the beauty, enjoyment of the happiness and different types of comforts. But Kulasekhara Alvar is not asking those things. Charming, this thing. Not does he humble himself before the Lord and make obeisances, craving for redemption from the rigorous punishment marked out of him for the monstrous, misdemeanors. That's what we call hell. Hell, there is all the time, when you do some sin, we are punished. So he said no. He is ready to take in his stride both joy and grief, the awards respectively, and for meritorious deeds and sinful misdeeds too. The only favor for which he makes his humble salutations in all earnestness and zeal is that the Lord Mukunda should be pleased to make his heart, whose heart? Kulasekhara Alvar's heart. He is praying for all of us, let all of our hearts, and as his abode, as Krishna's abode, that is as Mukunda's abode, and to invest every thought of his with his splendor. All our thoughts should be with Krishna's splendor. With this precious treasure stored in his heart, he can face all situations, pleasant or painful, perfect in equanimity, perennial, unbroken meditation on the Lord is what he seeks from Lord Krishna. Here, the only favor, and that, he says, is the only favor I need. That was the Kulasekaral was saying. He is sure will arm him with strength to overcome contradictory dualities, with power to remain unaffected by the consequences of actions, right or wrong, whether he is in this world or teased by ever-recurring dualities, or in heaven, enjoying amorous, diversions, or in hell, undergoing insufferable tortures. He remains unaffected as his mind is turned into the Lord Krishna himself, turned into Lord Krishna's continuous utterance of his namam. So, and his thoughts are sanctified and illuminated with divine glow. That was the Naham Vande. He starts with, I am not doing this one. I only, what is the last one? Bhave, bhave, Hrudaya bhavane, bhavayeyam bhavantam. This prayer, all of us must do this one every day. This is the prayer Kulasekaral Alvar with a elevated mind. Those who are the elevated souls, I can say, only those people only have this sort of thought. Otherwise, we always go with the mundane life and with all difficulties, or this, and sometimes if you have any difficulty, oh please, all these obstacles are coming on my way, please remove all my obstacles. These are the, he said, whether it is sin, whether it is good or bad, everything I am ready to take in the same spirit. That's why pain or pleasure, both are same. This is a yogic mind. A yogic mind, sthita prajnasya ka bhasha, that was Krishna says. Those who are steadfast mind towards Krishna, those who Kulasekaral Alvar reached to that stage. So he is not bothered about like Prahalada. Not bothered about the sufferings or even the pleasures or sufferings, both are same for him. It is not, he is not suffering. It is the Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, like Narayana, Narayana. That's all. The moment he asking Narayana, no suffering even in spite of those things. This Bhavayeyam bhavantam, that was the ultimate. Usually, mankind asks for once the God appears before him. So those are the differences when you feel. పురుషులందు పుణ్య పురుషులు వేరయ విశ్వదాభిరామ వినురవేమ. People look like same, but Kulasekaral Alvar is someone who is in the elevated souls, always in the higher way, high thinking only. That's it. So let us now, tomorrow we discuss the more and more about that one. Now we conclude this class. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve